What is happening? Good people. Working on getting a host from our big happy Final Fantasy Randomizer channel for starting here. But objective of the day, just show off some Duckling Derby flags in advance of the Duckling Derby. It is a mere 2.5 weeks away from our first race, July 11th. I believe that is a Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and do the week 1 flags. So if you are not familiar with the week 1 flags for the Duckling Derby, the short version, very short version, is it is a no loose except for a loose canal. So getting out of the inner sea, kind of a pain in the neck. But the nice thing is you start with a free ship, start with a free bridge. Incentive items, all the usual progression, floater canoe, tail, vorpal, and power gauntlet. Incentive locations, ice cave, ordeals, sea shrine, random location, sky palace behind gating, so behind the cube, and canary locked, and the usual main NPCs, fetch NPCs. From the standpoint of progression, we have early open and northern docks, which is always a good time. We also, from a scaling perspective, are looking at nothing too serious. It's a 50% to 200%. Weapon blessings, -2 to +5. Armor, -4 to +4. Masa is excluded from the weapon blurses. We have 1 bonus, 1 malice. So that's super exciting. And half BB crit rate on the bug fixes and balance. So nothing too surprising there. The encounter rate, also worth noting, is 0.6 for overworld, 0.7 for dungeon. It's pretty reasonable, low-ish encounter rate. I don't find that to be particularly onerous. I've certainly done worse. So with this flag set, pretty much anything is reasonable from a party comp standpoint. I don't see a particular reason to favor any particular class or disfavor them. There are going to be some things that I look for, though, and this fighter right away is telling me some things. So -10% hit, it's a big deal. 3 to 4 levels more to hit your breakpoints across the board. The fighter normally gets 3 hit per level, so that's why it's 3 or 4. However, ninja spells is a fantastic bonus. It is very hard to say no to ninja spells. Thief has fighter swords, fighter weapons, which is pretty good, but minus pro ring. I'm not thinking the thief here. These are the most meh black belt bonuses you will ever see, because Vorpal is Vorpal sometimes. It's not a great sword, it's an okay sword. But you got -10 strength to use it. The likelihood that you're going to find a Vorpal at a level where a black belt's going to care to put it on is basically nil. Red Mage, this is worse than it looks. So -15 vitality is a really big deal. Black belt vitality bonus is on the scaling side of things, and the black belt gets vitality very quickly, but you're offsetting that by losing out so much on that starting vitality. This red mage, I think it might actually be squishier than vanilla, unless you're bringing it way further than you ought to. White mage. I guess it could use a katana and it's going to suck at running. That's a real problem. Okay, so this this black mage is real funny because it can actually run. Normally, I found this out just like in the last week or so. The black belt's normal luck growth is so slow that your run chance actually goes down as you level, um, because the chance to run is in part based on your level. So the thief luck actually fixes that. It makes the black mage run very consistently. -10 vitality. That thing's going to have like 150 hit points at level 30. Uh, ooh. Um, Now, so here's the good news. And for all of the people who don't know me very well yet, I have a saying: there are no spells that exist above level 4. And what I mean by that is, um, if it's on the second page of the battle menu, I pretty much don't buy it. Uh, and that actually makes those ninja spells real appealing. Um, oh yeah, there's forced in this, isn't there? How many forced we got? We have 2 forced. So we are forced into a black mage and a thief. That poor thief. Oof. Oof. Well, I can tell you that thief is not going to stay upright for very long. This black mage might not either. Um, I mean, if I get a ribbon, the thief could probably be fine. I'm not betting on it though. All right, so I'm given the choice between a squishy red mage, a oh, it's such a hard sell to take a white mage so often. So, so what I'm going to be looking at is, um, ooh, I'm actually going to have to cut short here. I have somebody who just mentioned that they are on their way to my house. Uh, I might just take a pause. I think it will be a very brief visit. However, um, when I look at ninja spells, I know I've got 4 max charges. I look at this red mage, and it's not going to live very well. I think I actually take this white mage. I'm going to be real sad about the naming convention here because usually, well, this party is going to have a weird order anyway. Um, okay, so I did not expect that I was going to have visitors so soon. I honestly, I kind of figured that this individual was not going to be coming over at all. Somebody who is coming over to meet my dog because they haven't yet, and they have a vested interest in dogs. So, um, what I think I'm going to do, you know what? I'll start the seed. We'll get going here. Um, I'm just going to tell this person to message me when she gets here. But we'll start, and then I'll pause when she gets here, and yeah, we'll get back to it when we get back to it. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right. That's a pretty good white magic selection. Really, it's only Cure 3 or Heal 3. Fire 2, I guess. I guess. Not my favorite start, but it'll manage. Chain +4 is most excellent. Wood +4 is actually passable. Never really want to pass up on early absorb just because it plays so well. So because we have loose in the form of the canal, we're going to go looking for that canal. Looking for that canal literally just means checking the Toph chests. Hmm. Team Poison sound effects as I have headphones on. It's the best, I assure you. Hey, look, it's a canal. We're going to check the top two chests. Worst case scenario, I get wiped out by something. Who cares? It is less than a minute to get back up here. That Iron Helmet +3 is going to actually be pretty big for the fighter. Oh. Oh, you think so, Mr. Werewolf? Okay. It's good to know that that's your opinion on that. A little concerned there that the Fire 2 count was not going to be enough. Oib and a key. I love key. So we don't have any goofy monster in a boxes going on with this flag set, from what I recall. So off to the Canaria Locked we go. Light axe +5. Loot. Always good to get that loot out of the way. Uh, Light axe is an often overlooked weapon. It casts harm 2, I believe, which is, I mean, whatever. It's not going to matter in the context of this party. Um, why am I not checking items first? I should be checking items first. All right. So, quick note on items. Softs are always expensive, and that sucks. I don't like buying cabins at that price point. Houses are decently priced when I'm going to actually need them. So I don't feel any compunction to pick that thief off the ground. I gave him the armor thinking, hey, maybe he'll get through Temple of Fiends. It'll be fine. But he's not doing a whole lot for me. Getting the mutton, which is the ruby. I do love to have the flag on for the Titans replacement food. All right, gold -4. Literally, if the silver rolls +1, it's better than that gold +4, and probably 1/10 the price. Wow, that's a whole lot of nothing there. Guess you're getting Cure 2, White Mage. Oh, that's a loaded level, though. All right, so my first spell was Fire 2. I'm going to take Lit 2 on both of these guys. Or Lit 3, rather. Um, I'm going to take Quad X and Temper. The reason I didn't go for Fire 3 is that Fire 2 is okay enough. Lit 3 is amazing. And I love Quad X. I consider Temper to be a requirement in this flag set uh, because I'm not taking a black belt. And so, as many casters of that as I can have as possible is what I'm going for. Whoa, nope. So Montoya check. Why do I do a Montoya check here? Because I like money. I don't have enough money to do Elfland magic currently. And I don't feel any particular need to go after. Nope. All right, we're not going after Matoya money. Okay. I am going to be pausing here, and I will be muting in just a sec here. I will be back shortly, chat. Okay, good people, I have returned. I apologize for that delay. I've accidentally started my timer before I was ready because I use the delete key for pausing. So yeah, my cousin is a dog groomer slash trainer, and so yeah, she likes dogs. Hey, look, it's a level 3 nuke. Hey, look, it's trash. I say that Fog 2 actually decent spell. It's not good, but it's okay. And when I say it's okay, it's like it's the poor man's Invis 2. Like you use it in sort of the same situations. Oh, that warp. Wish I could buy it. Um, yeah, Fog 2 you can use sort of. Like there's times and places, right? I realize I lost my mental train of thought when I went to go answer the door, but I have the herb and I have the key. I think I have the herb. I have the herb. I have the Oxio. All right, so having Oxy this early is all right. Taking the long way here because I have to think while I'm talking. And anyway, having the Oxy kind of tells me where I'm going. Ooh, iron +4. Iron +4 is a good replacement. All right, so lovely thing about this flag set. Marsh is not incentivized. Get dunked on, nerds. Uh, all right, so routing decisions. I have the ruby slash mutton, which is an excellent food for a titan. So I'm going to go check Sarda and get some chests. Oh, life 2 is learnable. I don't need it yet. And there's fast. All right. Well, okay. So, ah, hey, look. Remember what I said about silver +1s being better than gold -4, and like way cheaper? They're literally 1/30th the price. Um, that is a good deal if I ever saw one. None of the in-game sounds are coming through. I did not realize that. Let's see this. Did that fix it, Shimbabi? Ah, okay. They are, but they... Okay. We're going to get this figured out. I don't play with music on because the sound glitches out consistently when I'm streaming. So that is why there's no music. It is absolutely maddening. So I don't subject myself to it. It's probably because I have 3 monitors running on a 970. This graphics card is a little bit dated. Well, that's news that I can use. Yeah, this 970 that I have that I don't really like so much. I'm not going to waste the soft on that encounter, since I wasn't killing him with a fire 2 anyway. I was looking to replace the 970 right as graphics cards went to ludicrous prices, and so Yeah, here I am. That's going to fund my shopping. That's cool. I would like to keep my people, please. Realistically, keeping my people means I actually need to kill some of these things. Wow. These are some flame-resistant spiders that I've rolled up for myself. All right, Shum. Enjoy your Netflixing. Main point of this whole endeavor is to just, let the ducks see what they got going on. All right, we get a crown. I don't mind a crown, but my problem with the crown is I have to dock somewhere in order to turn it in and not a river. Oh, geez. Oh. I like how there's like this exceptionally deadly multiple encounters in a small stretch period of the encounter table. And then there's this like decent sized run. It's not even a great run, but it's a good enough run. And somehow it surprises me every time. Like, this is a decent run. All right, here's the plan. We're going to go over to Crescent Lake. Crescent Lake, always incentivized because it is a main NPC, I believe. We're going to try this again until the Sahags agree with me that we're going to Crescent Lake. We're also going to hope that there's some save items here, because that'd be real nifty. There are cheap tents. There is slab I can't afford and have no reason to pick up yet. What do we got in the armor here? Nothing I need. Cool. There's the Fade and the Cure 4. Both of them are learnable, which is real nice. I'm actually more concerned about the Cure 4. So, as much as I love having damage spells on my White Mage, so that it actually does something other than look at its iPhone all day, I don't care about spells that are above level 4 when it comes to combat. The exception is utility spells, where I'm only going to be casting them maybe once, and only in a boss fight. Alright. Banning a bot. Because That's just what you do, right? Dots don't belong here. Alright, so I want to see if I can hit an encounter here real quick. Hey, that's actually good. I like Peds. I like Peds better when I actually do damage to them. Please and thank you. So, as mentioned with the why do I pick the Cure 4 right away, I'm never going to remember that fade. The true facts about the fade here is that it doesn't exist in my brain. Lit 3 was the bad choice here. I should have been using the Quad X. Single enemy. I did see that they died to about 330 damage before. It's okay. Alright. Armed with this information, I'm going to attempt to get back to the other side. I don't really like following the bottom of the continent, especially since I'm not going to Elfland right away. I will be stopping to turn in a crown to fight a lovely man named Astos, who's pretending to be a very kindly old king. It's a good time. So I got the canoe, so I'm docking. So anyway, I started blasting. The rod is not an item I care about. It is just... eh. So I am going to just check both of these spike tiles. Well, nightmares are not going to be fun. That's good to know. Menuing. I can do it, I swear. It's a skill I have. Quad-Xable Frosties are sort of meh. I mean, I don't have enough Quad-X for it to matter. Alright, what do I got? I got a crown, a key, a rod, and an Oxio. This tells me that I should be headed to Ordeals, but only after I stop and pick up those warps from level 4 Black Magic. Because I have money now. Some facsimile thereof, at least. Heading on down. I went too far, because I went a little bit too far to the left. Yeah, the lineup is a little tricky getting down here from Elfland, for me at least. It's a little bit further than you think it is. It's okay, I get to do it again. So the grand rule, the very important rule, is you need to respect the overworld sometimes. This is one of those times, because those sahags are disgusting. Always remember to do your river zigzags. It's a very important part of rivers. They are not encounter tiles when you are entering or exiting them, so you get 6 free steps there. Alright, so our first decision point is 2. I always count off the tiles. I have to say them, or the pillars rather, I have to say them out loud or I forget. These are some chunky zombie Ds. I don't like that. Hey look, it's the zombie Ds. Pretty sure I was through this tiles. Huh? Yep. Alright, 2. 4. The mythical 4th pillar. Anytime you're showing off anything, you will get the 4th pillar. 2, 4, 2. And 1. So there were just enough of those mummies left that hadn't used heat that I was a little concerned. Gargoyles, please. Reminder, that far left one is linked to the location on the second floor that had the other spike tile. It's a water. Did the rivers wrong there, but I don't care. It'll be okay. Proximity routing play. I do this virtually every race. So spoiler alert, if you're ever looking to race against me, and you're looking for a thing that I'm not going to do, it's skipping out on this. So I need to go up to Waterfall first. Always waterfall first. So my objective when we go to Sea Shrine is to do as little of it as possible. Because we have a random incentive item there, I very much intend to go crack inside first, check every chest on the way down, which is not a very difficult thing to do. And then when I have finished with that nonsense, I will, if I have not found my incentive item, I will then go to the mermaid side. It's sort of the optimal way to go about that. The only downside is if you don't have the levels to take Kraken. And that can be a very difficult thing to figure out, especially if you're an earlier runner of this, if you haven't had a lot of seeds under your belt. Hey, it's the worst one. The fire 2 here is just chip damage. This light axe is actually doing work when it swings. Hey. Mud goals are passable experience. They're not great. You should not rely on them. However, I'm here, and they're here. It's just kind of a whatever. So I like to check that shop, not because I plan to buy anything from it, but to tell me if I am going to want to come back potentially. So the big upshot of the check here is just making sure I know if fast is here. Chonky Gersharks, good to know. Gersharks have roughly 350 plus hit points. I don't like that. So in this routing, I always like to check the C-split floor fully because I have been burned by not checking one of those two rooms. Ow. Ow. Stop it. Alright, so lobsters are jerks. Did you know lobsters are jerks? We've just verified that lobsters are jerks. That fighter is pretty well armored. Like, there's not a small amount of absorb on that fighter. That pack always looks juicy, and it's not. In the vanilla game, it was here more or less to check to make sure you had the whatever Lit 2 item was available. I think it was the Zeus Gauntlet, might have been the Thor Hammer. Basically, did you go to Ordeals yet? But yeah, the Arsa Hags are worth basically no experience. And even with scaling going up, because randomizer, that's still, that whole pack is worth less than like the 3 mud goal fight that we were doing before. Did you remember that the katana was available on the white mage? It's always important to remember your blurses, even when they're pathetic. Goodbye, Sea Troll. So, writing a decision, the spike tile in that room I just left is the same as the lower spike tile in this next room. All right. I'm going to see if the big eye. Nope, big eye has too many hit points. There's a lot of chonk here. Yeah. Yep, there's a lot of chonk here. A lot of chonk here. That's like a 600 hit point curse shark. So now we know that the bottom right room of this floor has blue Ds. All right, so this fight, this Gershark Big Eye, usually I will take it every single time because it is a high value fight. It is not high value, this seed. This is a good fight, however, assuming I don't die to heats. 3 Wiz Mummies is a lot of experience. Alright, well, you know, I guess we'll nuke off of the fighter. That's fine. For some cash. Hey, incentive item. Hey, Grey Worm. So this Kraken could be dangerous. And by could be, I mean probably will be. It's not a good fight for me at this level. And, you know, I say that knowing full well what that means, which is I might have to re-dive this to get that floater. And I ain't leaving here without the floater. But I also don't want to have to re-walk this, you know? So we're going to hope that we can just nuke through. So these lobsters have just enough hit points to make me waste a nuke. And just enough MDEV. Great. I was really hoping to avoid that lobster encounter. Thankfully, I ran right away. Alright, protecting my win condition. My win condition is nuke. Three hits for 4 damage. Good job, katana-wielding white mage. That's a free turn if I ever saw one. Alright. So, good news. I don't have to go to mermaids. pro tip, and I say pro because it belongs to Crab Cakes. Crab Cakes is a phenomenal runner. She is absolutely wonderful and amazing at this game. If she says something is faster, it is. She has said in the past that sailing around the bottom of Onrak is faster to get to the Ryukon Desert where the airship lives than going up and around. So, moral of the story, if Crab Cake says it, you should do the thing. I overshot. Oh, yeah, it's not a dock, it's a river. All right, first order of business. I feel like there was spells here. Were there spells here? There was a fade that I sort of cared about, but not really. Lock 2. You should always pick up either lock or lock 2. On the assumption that you are going to be fighting something that requires you to do that thing. I don't know where I'm going. And by that I mean I was trying to go to Sarda and I had already done Sarda. That's okay. What I really need to do is head back up here because I need to promote. I need to promote Bayeb. I have an Aegis shield that desperately wants to be equipped. Would you please? Kindly encounters, please leave me alone. Wow. That was looking like a bust for a little bit, and then it was suddenly looking like an Opal +4. That's a big upgrade from a Silver +1. Hey, it's a Masa. If you ever wonder why people check Cardia Isles, these are basically free. And in this, I've gotten basically every upgrade I need except a ribbon. That was the only... Oh, no, I got a Procate. Alright. Actually, I want Mage Stick down there, in case White Mage needs to do White Mage things. Ah. So Forest has 7 chests, Grass has 3, and Marsh has 3. that's another pro ring. Every pro ring you find is a pro ring you don't need to buy. Alright, I have TNT. I have... TNT is the only turn-in I have to do. However, I can still buy the slab. Was a slab in Crescent. Feel like it may have been in Crescent. I remember it was very expensive. Alright. Blew half my money, and I got a slab. Important thing to remember, I always like to say this because I learned it the hard way one time. If you turn in the slab, it disappears from your inventory. You will easily forget that you have translated a slab if you don't make a very strong mental note about that. Alright. Earth. I'm just going to check the tiles here real quick. I'm going to walk away from the ambushing cobras. Those tiles aren't worth anything. If you are checking the chests in this room, it is faster to take the upper route here. If you are not checking them, it is faster to take the lower route. And by faster, I mean like it's a number of steps thing. I do like to check those 3 chests. I do not like to check the other 3 chests, and the reason is the other 3 chests are both much further away, and they have a spike tile in the way. And those are things that I just don't want to spend time on. Just like all these encounters. So the other key thing of note as we're going through this dungeon, this is the Asher chest. It always pays out. This flag set is real easy. The hardest part is getting your canal. And so this was actually a really bad example of this flag set. I had sort of hoped for some trash fire in terms of finding that canal, because you can get some real interesting trash fires in these flags for that. Just to sort of run down the mental checklist of what you have to look for when you're trying to get your canal beginning of the game. So you've got your 3 initial chests in the Temple of Fiends. You got your 3 chests at Matoya, which we still haven't checked yet because we've never gone back to her. And you have your 2 chests in Dwarf. And those are all the ones that are available initially. So we're looking at 8 chests initially. After that, you have your key lock. And your key lock is really, you've got your 6 in Canaria, you've got 2 more in the Temple of Fiends, you have 8, I think. Math is a thing that I don't do well sometimes while I'm trying to talk. Something like that, 8 or 9 in the Dwarven Armory, you have 4 in the Elven Armory, you have 3 in Northwest Castle. So those ones, however, are all dependent on you having a way to get down to Elfland area. Actually, So that's going to require the ship or the canoe in order to get down there. You have the ship to start. Marsh, you have your 4 chests up top. 2 of them are linked. One of them is linked to the room you will absolutely 100% walk by when you are on your way to the bottom floor. The other is linked to a chest on the left side of that room in the middle on the way down. And those go to 2 chests in the upstairs. Generally speaking, I like to check upstairs first because it's a shorter walk. If you are going to check Marsh, it's also helpful to remember that there are 3 chests at the very bottom that are all key locked. There's 2 on the bottom left section, 1 on the bottom right. The bottom right one is what is referred to as the Marsh locked incentive location, just so you're aware of that. However, that requires the key to even get near there. If your run includes an early canoe, you will also have access to all of Volcano, which is a lot of chests. If you get Volcano available to you, I almost always recommend going there. However, standard caveat is you kind of want to be able to kill carry if you're going to go into the Volcano. You'll also have all of Ice, which Ice is actually an incentive dungeon that I have not yet done this seed, and I need to remember to do that. Guess what I hadn't done yet? Ice has I would say, suboptimal, interest for me. I don't like going to Ice. I'm going to be going to Ice very shortly, however, because I'm pretty sure that's where my chime is. Or whatever leads to my chime. Oh, that was a great armory. So yeah, that's sort of the rundown of how location logic works for where that loose canal could be. Now, because it's a loose item, it will be in a chest. So you've got that going for you at least. It's not going to be coming from one of your incentive NPCs. You know what you're going to be getting out of those incentive NPCs. That is a much better proposition is knowing that information, right? Because you could just get Canoe and Floater and be like, peace out, Canal. I don't care about you. However, that canal will be in an inner sea chest because it cannot be outside of the inner sea. However, sometimes you get seeds like this, where it's literally the first chest you check in the Temple of Fiends. It's a bottle. So the why I'm doing what I'm doing here is I do not feel super comfortable with my levels, and so I want to see if there's a reasonable grind. I also want to see if I can find a second ribbon. That'd be real nice. And it's faster in some regards to just go out than it is to to go through rather than to warp out. And it's just charges because I don't have a lot of warp charges, and I just used one of them for warp trick. Well, good news. I didn't find a good grind tile here, so guess I'm leaving. So now that I have the bottle and I have a translated slab, I know where I'm headed, which is good news. This was probably the slower way. Whoops. It's looking like a suspiciously high level fast here. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. It is worth checking this for fast specifically. If I'm going to stop and check it anyway, yeah. Alright, well, I think, unless I'm a big dummy, that means that Lefane is our fast location. I'm actually pretty unhappy about my gold total since I purchased Exit. Exit was probably not worth buying. However, I did it out of habit. That'll look like a go mode to me. I'm in go mode and I'm level 18. So, mentioned it at the very beginning of the seed. This fighter has a penalty on hit percent, 10% hit percent reduction with the Masa. If you have a vanilla Masa, it's normally level 24. It's going to be either 27 or 28 for the 27 or 28 in order to get my 5th hit, which is sub-ideal. That is not a position I wanted to be in. You know what? I'm going to nuke these guys because I'm going to tent after this. Or house, rather. So even though I'm in go mode, I am planning to take at least a couple additional chests and fights, because being at level 19 and looking at Temple of Beans Revisited without having fast is kind of scary. Even the knight is almost nukeable. It's not a good place to be. So Cerberus are not particularly great experience, but they are usually pretty squishy. As you saw there, 107 killed one of them. They are worth roughly the same amount as those mud goals that I was avoiding, but they're usually easier to kill because they don't resist as many elements. If you have Ice 3, they just go down like a sack of bricks. I just ran from like your big brother. Just don't. If you're going to check a group of chests, I always recommend this room because it's got 5. It is the most on this floor. You may be wondering why I'm picking up extra swords. I don't know. It's kind of habit. Um, I now have an excuse to go to Matoya again. I also have an excuse to take more fights, which is great. Important rule to keep in mind for Mancats is they do not resist time magic, which means Zap works real well against them. They have terrible MDef, which means Zap works real well against them. It's still like, I think 50-ish%, but that's still good for a insta-kill, right? I'm getting a lot more mileage out of that katana on the white mage than I had ever anticipated, and really more than I deserve out of it. Okay. Fighters are always worth a lot of experience. However, they also have high evade, high absorb, all the things you don't want to see out of an enemy. Alright. Dragon -3 is unfortunately just not as good as Ice +4. I kind of need the absorb to live. I know it has more elemental resistances. It's a very good armor generally. However, yeah. Also note with the Mancats have resistances to a lot of other things, which makes basically non-elemental and time your go-tos for them. This is one of those fights where there's enough things to make it worth the spell slot. That's a thing I didn't want to see, which was those things living through any number of nuke. But thankfully, I had a mage stick queued up. Okay, bridge of density. Go. Alright, so this is scary, but I'm going to try it anyway. There's good news here. There's a lot of experience. That's a lot of damage. That looked like a single hit out of the knight, which means the knight needs some support in the fat. Oh, I have fast. What am I thinking? Trying to look for a spell that I already have. Lock is probably going to be something I use in this fight. Alright. That got us, I think, 2 levels. I'm feeling much better now. Never grind airs. They're terrible. So I think these R Hydras have something along the lines of like 180 hit points. Not ideal, but it's okay. We'll get through it, chat. Hmm. That's an opener. That's a thing that happened. It's okay. Followed up with a free turn. Followed up with 2 free turns. All right, last stop on our way to the top. The volcano. Volcano is like a minute and a half. Choo-choo! All aboard! Birds, please. I'm pretty sure if I had first round nuked instead of first round fasted with the Black Mage, I would have actually finished that fight. Like, on the first turn. Whoops. One last little stock up. I should be able to complete this. But you can probably see the thing giving me pause the most, which is looking at my white wizard who has 380 hit points, which is to say 20 less than a max roll on a nuke, which is a little scary. Not gonna lie. I should be running from that fight. However, I want to see if I can get enough experience to I have Fire 2s in slot 1 and nothing else to put there. Oh, I just realized I did a dumb. I could pick up Heal 3 on the knight. If I wipe out, I will do that. At least I'm pretty sure. If it was not slot 2. But the unfortunate truth is a lot of the time good spells for white magic tend to land in slot 2 just to confound you. Huh. That was Death Touch. I didn't like that so much. Alright, there's like a 50-50 chance of that level up giving me the last attack that I care about on the Masa. I say the last one I care about because the you can get 6 hits on a fighter, but the likelihood of doing that is pretty low since you need to get up into like the high 30s or something like that. It's a much higher number. So yeah, you just don't typically get there. It might actually even be in the 40s. We'll see. Lich will tell us. Or I'll kill Lich before he can tell us. Gary probably won't tell us because I'm about to I'm about to fast and we'll see how many of these actually connect. 10 hits. That means that I got my last hit. Cool. I get the awful, awful feeling, yep, that is exactly what was coming up. I knew that double encounter was coming any second now, which probably means we've got another one coming up in like 5 steps. Oh, do I just have a hero run here? I have a hero run here. Sacrificial Black Mage, please, fast the knight. Knight, you're supposed to wait. You did not wait your turn. Ow. Okay. Tornado. That's some damage, all right. As suspected, that was going to be the end of that one. Stun would have landed if that black mage had less than 300 hit points. I think he had less than 300 hit points to go around when we started this. So, good job. Good job, me getting that extra like level or two in here. Okay, so hour 15. I'm actually not happy with that time. A couple of reasons for that. First one is I did not respect the overworld, so the overworld did not respect me. That is the Sahag problem. It's just not fun, right? The extra chests that I did take were not terrible, but I wasted some time menuing to get swords that I was never going to use. And I knew I was never going to use them, but man, it's really hard for me to get past the mental block of, hey, that's a Sun +4. That's actually a great sword. It's not great compared to a vanilla Masa. It's good. It actually can potentially be better than the Masa if the scaling is worse. 130 chests is a lot of chests. That's a lot of chests. It only counts one parish because I reset out of so many of them. But, you know, you get what you get in the stats. Damage taken total, not bad. Damage dealt total, not surprising. Good things. And I want to stress that there were good things and bad things in this run. Good things, identifying the win condition. The win condition was getting the fighter to level 27 to have the last swing with the Masa. Believe that means that level 28 would have been sort of the bad level in the lineup. So that works out great, right? 27 was ideal for the minus 10 hit percent penalty that I had. Not doing unnecessary things. There were a bunch of unnecessary things that I did manage to skip. In particular, I managed to skip turning in the slab. I did not skip buying it, unfortunately, but once I got the chime, I knew I was in go mode and I could just go. Um, and so I missed what was probably either the Vorpal or the Power Gauntlet. That would have been the slab and the crystal turn-ins, respectively. Those two items. So that's not bad. Now, what I'm going to follow this up with is, of course, in the actual race, your mileage may vary. Um, you could have a much better set of blessings. You could have a much worse set of locations for incentives. Uh, this just sort of fell into place. Not having to do mermaid side, for example, in the actual race, you could have to do the mermaid side. Um, you could find the incentive and wipe to Kraken. These are things that happen, right? But identifying when you have the resources to do the thing, um, it's a very important step. Um, so yeah, that's general thoughts. General thoughts for the race itself, and I think this is important to go over too. So, when you're looking at a mass race environment, you just run your race. And what I mean by that is that in a 1v1, you can have an inclination to say, hey, my opponent does ordeals real fast. That's been kind of the Deadpool special. Ordeals is available. I'm going to ordeals. And there's reasons to do that. There's a lot of good reasons to do that. In fact, the enemies there tend to be very rewarding. The chests are all on the way. There's nothing particularly out of the way because the second floor chest is linked to the top floor. And so you can just check the chests on the top floor. There's 3 spike tiles you can check to get encounters, etc. Those are all great reasons to go to ordeals. You can, in a 1v1, gamble against it. In a mass race, which is what you will be doing for the Duckling Derby, don't do that. Don't gamble against other individual people because you're going to be in a field of 30 plus people. And the reality of the race is run what you are comfortable running, take the steps you need to take to feel successful. Understand that there are going to be some runners that get really good luck based on their routing, and it might be you. You could come out on top because you had good run luck. In terms of where the items landed and your routing choices and all of that. Uh, but yeah, just think about it in terms of being comfortable with the flags, understanding the logic of where that canal is going to end up, identifying if you need it. Right. Ultimately, there's 6 required items in the game. In terms of you have to have them in your inventory to complete the game. Those are the loot, the key, the rod, the oxyale, the chime, and the cube. Right. However, you also need, in this flag set, uh, a minimum of the canal or the canoe and the floater. Those are going to be your way to the everywhere, right? Northern docks being on means that you do need to think about your availability of being able to go into Sky, going into the on-rack continent, thinking about where those shop items are, as I learned yesterday, something like that. If it doesn't show up in your inventory screen, like when you go to items, it cannot be the shop item. So you will never have a canoe be in the shop. You'll never have a ship be in the shop. You will never have an equipment piece like the Vorpal or the Power Gauntlet from the incentive pool here. Those will never be inside a shop. However, your floater can be there, which happens a lot. Um, your chime can be there, your cube can be there, whatever. So, bear that in mind, keeping in mind that the Honorat Continent has 2 shops. So, always be willing to pay attention to that. Beyond that, I mean, y'all been doing the duckling stuff. Y'all know this. So, with that, I'm signing off. I'm going to post this into some channel or another, just so you can take a look at the video, see what a relatively experienced, relatively average runner will look like. I consider myself to be an average runner of this game compared to some of our faster folks. Um, 115. If you get a 115 in the actual Derby, that's probably top 10. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like a 115 in this flag set is pretty good. Obviously, the closer to the hour you get, much better. Um, if don't stress if your practices are going a bit longer. Just, figure out, record, rewatch your video at 2 times speed, see what you're messing up, ask for a VOD review, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to post this over probably into the Derby channel as the VOD and let people check it out. I hope that you excuse the fact that I had a 10-minute break in the seat to introduce my dog to my cousin. But yeah. Anyway, ducks, thank you for watching if you bothered to watch this long. I hope you have a wonderful evening.